So today we are talking about going deep with SAEs, and Ed Rigsbee is an expert on SAEs. By the way, I'm Aidan Crawford, so probably let you know we're both from the ASSC, the speakercommunity.org, the Association and Society of Speakers Communities. We're doing a summer series for speakers to help you grow your business. And today, again, we're going to be talking about using or exploring SAEs and going deep with those. So, Ed, why don't you get us kick it off? Why don't you start it off with us?
Aiden. So we took care of everybody knows who we are. Yeah. Last week in our discussion, the SAEs came up and we decided we're going to talk about it more this week. SAEs, Society of Association Executives. There's two basic kinds that you want to know about. There are the state and or regional Society of Association Executives, and many of them belong to the alliance. And then there are industry-specific SAEs. So one of the things that I'm going to go micro first, and I'll go macro. So one of the things that I've talked about for a long time is don't chase gigs, try to build authority in an industry. Okay, fair enough. So how do we do that? I think that's a reasonable question. If you have an industry that you seem to be fond of or is fond of you, you might want to look and find out, do a little bit of research, use your favorite AI tool, and find out if there is a society-specific Society of Association Executives. And I'll just use one that a lot of the ASSC members know about because I always put the call for proposal that they send me into the ASSC group, and a number of the ASSC people have gotten speaking engagements, and that's AMSE, American Association of Medical Society Executives. This is just an example of
Recording in
one.
progress.
The AMSE is just an example of one. So who are the members? Are various executive directors or CEOs from various kinds of medical societies around the US. It could be the state medical society, and or it could be a specialty medical society. So if you get the opportunity, let's just say healthcare or medical related is an industry you're interested in, is an industry you want to build authority in. Well, speaking at a AMSE, which is a industry specific Society of Association Executives, would be a good thing. Now, whether you get paid to speak or not is less the issue, because who are you speaking for? 100 to 200 executive directors that can hire you for their association. So, you're speaking to your client market. Now, on a less micro, a little bit more macro, for the state societies of association executives. There's also the national, like Aidan lives in Toronto. There's the Canadian Society of Association Executives. I live in the United States. There's the American Society of Association Executives. But that's probably less where you want to play. The state, as an example, let's just take Florida. Florida Society of Association Executives. That's fsae.org. All of the state association executive directors, or a good number of them, and many of the national regional executive directors that live in Florida will join FSAE. So the idea of speaking at any of the state SAEs is, now here's a gathering of a bunch of executive directors and CEOs from various industries, various associations that's represented at that meeting. You get an opportunity to speak at that meeting. Again, whether you're paid or not is less the issue. You're going to be speaking in front of a couple hundred potential buyers of your speech, of your content, of your expertise. The people that like you, that resonate with their content, that think that your content will be helpful to their members, they're going to seek you out. So while this is a little bit of gig chasing, because you're just spreading it out there, it's also the opportunity to let the industries that resonate with you come to you. Now you can find industries that you might want to consider specializing in. So that's the overview. So Aidan, questions, thoughts?
So you said a couple hundred. Like, how many people would generally be at one of these meetings? And what are the strategies when you're there? Like, would you, because you're not getting paid most of the time? I think Florida does pay though, don't they? I think the couple of
I've,
the
you know, something, Aidan,
I
I've
think
been
Texas and
paid,
Florida and New York, I know are usually pretty good.
one year, the New England Society of Association Executives wanted me to do a program on member ROI, how to do the valuation. And I said, that's a consumable. If you want me to do that, you're going to have to pay me. And they said, well, we don't pay keynoters. I said, well, if you want me to speak on strategic alliances, that's fine. I'll do that keynote without a fee. And they said, no, we want you to do the member evaluation, how you do it. And I said, well, you're going to have to pay me. And they finally said, okay, we'll pay you. So, part of it is doing a little bit of push. We don't pay speakers unless it's something we really want and the speaker won't do it for free. So
Mhm.
sometimes a little bit of pushback can make you some money. So there's a number of the Society of Association Executives, and as you might guess, the bigger states, like out in California where I live, the Cal SAE, it was a molding of San Diego, Orange County, Sacramento and San Francisco SAEs, and then they became Cal SAE. Now they've morphed again and brought in, I think it's Oregon and maybe Nevada. And so they're now, what do they call themselves? Western, Great West, West, something Western SAE, something Western SAE. Now, so you think of, the California cluster, the Texas cluster, the Florida cluster, and depending where in the Northeast, New England's a good one. They and then you've got Association Forum, which is a regional, but they got 2,500 members. They're in Chicago, and so if you get into the bigger SAEs, there's probably going to be 400 or 500 people at that meeting if you get the keynote, and there's probably going to be 100, 150, maybe 200 in a breakout. Now, if it's a smaller SAE like Indiana SAE or South Carolina, well, then there's going to be less. So it just depends. And generally, you can go to their website, look at their member list, or look at About Us, and they say something about what their membership is, their membership numbers are. So here's the thing. Okay, any speaker that's going to be speaking at a conference, let's say if you're the keynoter, it's easier because most everybody's going to be there. If you get a breakout, it's harder. So what any speaker that does a breakout in conference should be doing is passing out handbills. When you walk around and talk to people, meet people, and network with people, why are you here? Oh, I'm going to be doing the program tomorrow or the next day on X. Oh, here's a flyer. I just print them on a print four on a sheet of paper, use my paper cutter, cut them. If you really want to get fancy, print it on colored paper. Anyway, but to be able to tell them, here's my program, here's the what's in it for you to attend my program. Here's the time of the program, and if you can usually have the room before you get there, to where now you can urge people to come to your program. Then what you want to do now, some people love to use Talkadot. I'm not one of those, and to get prospects. I've always kind of done the manual old farmer. I'll start going through my presentation and I'm watching people write, because I load a lot of really important information at the beginning. So they're writing down. And then I stop and I go, oh, I'm sorry. If some of you want the content from this PowerPoint, just give me your card or write your email address on a piece of paper and just leave it at the front because I realize that some of the younger association people, they don't have cards. But write on a piece of paper. And I will strip out all the pictures because it's going to be too big of a file, send it as PDF, and I'll send it to you. Well, now, if somebody left their email address or they left their card, it pretty much gives me permission to contact them afterwards.
Mhm.
And what I want to do is I want to have it lined out. I'm going to have three benign questions. So I'm gonna send out the PowerPoint and say a week later, week and a half, 2 weeks, whenever I have time. I want to get back with them and say, hey, just checking. Did you get the PowerPoint? Yeah, I did. Okay, that's a yes. Did you use this aspect of my information? Like I usually have association execs download my articles from my article bank. Did you access my article bank? Well, whether it's a yes or no, I try to have three questions there's no stress, there's no conflict, they're not afraid that I'm trying to sell them anything. And then the fourth question, I go, is there a chance that we might be doing business sometime in the next 12 months? I mean, if you're not willing to ask for the business, you don't belong in the business. And depending on how that goes, we'll have a discussion. And generally the last question, the fifth question is there any of your colleagues that you could recommend me to, or you might be able to introduce me to via email for a recommendation?
Hmm.
So all of these people that are at these SAE meetings, now I realize some vendors might be in your audience and some vendors might want your PowerPoint. That's fine. You might as well contact them. They probably have meetings too. But I want to access the power of the association execs in the room. If they want my content, I want to be able to get back with them and start the more one-on-one relationship bank deposit. So doing the presentation at their SA meeting is the initial relationship bank deposit. Sending them the PowerPoint is the second relationship bank deposit. The third relationship bank deposit is to have the live one-on-one conversation where my early questions are just to soften them up, relax them so they're not afraid, not, not like I called to sell them something. I did, but not just yet. And that is the third general relationship bank deposit. At the point where, I believe I have permission to talk to them about what I do and how we might work together because they gave me their information. I fulfilled my promise, and now I'm reaching out to them. And it's rare that I've ever had somebody this way get upset with me. Why'd you call me? And it's like, I maybe I've had somebody, I just don't ever remember it. But it just I think that that you want to have a strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to go to a state SAE and find association executives that maybe I don't know that are maybe in industries that I'm not familiar with that maybe like who I am and what I do. Step one. I then want to grab that information. Step two, I use it by giving them the PowerPoint. You can use Talkadot if you want. Step three, I fulfill my promise. I do it manually. They get an email from me direct. And then step four, I try to have a conversation with them.
So
That
I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking of ways that you can actually kind of grow that pie and get more information from them. If you're not getting paid, let's say it's a 500 person SAE somewhere, uh, how difficult would it be? It wouldn't like something that wouldn't cost them anything. You're going to be presenting to get a booth. Like, I'm a booth guy. As a speaker, to say, I have no problems coming in and doing a keynote for you. You don't pay. Can I get a 6 foot booth so you can at least have a spot for
yeah,
those SAEs to
sometimes,
find you?
yeah, they'll give you that sometimes. I'm the opposite. I want to work a booth like I want to
You
poke
want me
pins
to
in
work the
bags.
booth for you?
Yeah. But here's the thing you can do. A couple things. And one thing is when you speak at the SAEs, go over to the association booth where they probably have a hard copy member list sitting there.
Mm.
for members to take. I figure if they're sitting there for members to take, there's no reason I can't take one. Okay, that's number one. Well, that becomes valuable. I give you a few years ago, the AMSI people called me, and that's why I'm on their list. And I'm always getting the stuff for ASSC. One of the persons heard me speak at an SAE. They contacted me. They said, "Hey, we can't pay you, but we really want, and you live in LA. Our meeting's in LA. We'd really like you to come and do 2 breakouts on your member ROI process." So what I negotiated was a year membership in their organization. Okay, that's not bad. What did that year membership give me? It gave me access to their membership list.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, I mean, duh. I asked for a series of, I don't know, half a dozen articles to be published in their magazine or newsletter, whatever it was. And I wanted 3 referrals to other colleagues.
Sure.
And they agreed to all of them. They didn't really care as much about the 3 referrals as what I wanted was my articles to be published. And what I really wanted was membership in their organization so I could access their membership list. And I will admit that I skimmed that all out. And I sent lots of emails to their members. Hey guys, I'm just telling you the truth. So go ahead.
No, the other thing that I was thinking about was if you're speaking in a room, let's say not everybody's going to get the keynote. Let's face it, the majority of us will get the breakout. You can only have the one keynote,
Yeah,
right? Everybody else will
yeah,
get a breakout. So you got 100
sure.
people in the room. Would it make sense to have a postcard and precede the seats with a postcard with like a link or a QR code or something on it so that they can make it easier for them while you're speaking to go, okay, yeah, I do want that. It's like on your seat, you'll find a postcard with a QR code that you can go and you can get the download thing, put in their name, they get the thing. Nice and easy. Um, but do you think that
Those
would
those
somebody?
but what you want to do with the postcard, some of these people are weird. You want to get permission to do that in your contract.
So yes, get that in the contract.
So, okay, we want you to speak for free, Ed. I need membership in your organization. I need you to print articles. I need testimonials, and I need permission to put down an information postcard or catalog sheet on everybody's seat. Get it
And a
in
booth.
the contract. Because now, if there's some 13-year-old clerical person in there that says you can't do that, yes, I can. It's in my contract. And so I think it's great. I mean, look at you and I've used postcards over the years. Vista prints a million postcards for a couple $100, and I would suggest just create a postcard that's generic to go to your website rather than creating a postcard with a QR code going to a specific landing page. I would say,
Would it not make sense to have it going to this your speaking page? Like you
well,
want them
it
to hire
is, but
somebody.
then but then you're spending a bunch of money to do that and doing, it's either or. It's
Yeah,
either or.
I guess I was trying to think like how do I reduce the
It's either or.
friction, right? If I send somebody to my like I'm not a big fan of sending somebody to the homepage of your website because then they've got to figure out your navigation. Every website's a little different. And so for me, it would be like, here's a QR code directly to the landing page where they can download that. And then here are the links to my speaking pages. Like make it nice and this is what you're here for. I don't need you to look at my coaching
You're,
page.
you're right. That's a good point. It's probably that I'm a little lazier than you. And I just want to have one postcard for everything. But you're right. It would be better. Although, I kind of see it's like, oh crud, I got to buy postcards for this, got to buy postcards for that. But it would be better, and it's not that hard to build a landing page.
Well,
Chat GPT can do it for you.
here's how
And
I do it.
so,
So there's actually a hack around that. I have one landing page, so the URL stays the same. So that one postcard, because I don't need that landing page for ABC Association after I've spoken to them. So the next one, I use the same URL. So it's like short circuit media / events or event or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Give it a generic
yeah.
name, and then I can just update it whenever. And I've got you
Well,
can
that
use
makes
the
sense.
same postcard over and over again,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, that makes total sense. I think that there's a lot of ways to skin this cat, and some of the finer points they can be debated, and either or is fine. I think the more umbrella point is if you're going to go speak at one of these SAEs, have a strategy for how to make it valuable. That's the umbrella point.
Yeah, like the amount of time I've spoken to somebody and all I hear, it's like, so what is your follow-up plan for this? You're speaking as a what is well, I didn't really have well, the goal wasn't to speak for free at an event. The goal was to speak so you could get some business. And I find that a lot of people in our industry don't really have that in them to think ahead. It's like I need to
Yeah.
turn this into revenue because revenue is
I
important.
think what I think what we have to keep reminding people, associations are the gateway to an industry. Speaking at an association meeting is not the finish line. It's just the front door.
Yes.
And if you're going to a bunch of executives, state society of association executives, uh, you're absolutely right. That is not the finished product. That's just the gateway to all of these people that can potentially do business with me. And if I'm just going to rely on them to come to me, well, I'm leaving most of the money on the table.
Yeah. Well, I think Ed, that again, another great LinkedIn Live. I think that's a great place to leave it. Just you're leaving money on the table if you're not going for these SAEs and have a strategy when you actually do speak to them, guys. Ed, I don't think we'll be doing this next week. I think will we?
Let me look at my calendar.
I don't know when I'm
I'm
leaving. I think I'm
looking
leaving
at
on the Thursday, so I'd probably be around.
Yeah, something. Next week is July 22. I'm here. I leave to go to Austin July 23. So not a
Let's do it.
problem.
Let's do
We
it.
can do a LinkedIn Live next week on the 22nd,
Sounds
but
good.
then not on the 29th.
No, no, no.
Is
We
it
won't
the
do it.
same link?
It'll be. I'll get you the link, Frank. I will get you the link. I'm
Okay.
actually going to set it
You'll
up
send me.
today. So I think maybe we do the one that I originally thought we were going to do, going deep.
Well, this was very valuable too. So,
Yeah, no,
doesn't
this is
matter.
great. No, this is great. SAEs are an amazing kind of resource a lot of speakers don't know about. AMCs are another one. Maybe we should do something. Maybe we do talk about AMCs next time. But the whole idea is that, yeah,
Did
there's
we
a lot
talk
of,
about AMCs already?
did we? All right. Well,
Yeah, I
maybe
think,
we did. We're always
or,
talking. Who the hell knows?
or maybe we talked about association executive councils.
That's good. All right.
Yeah,
Well, we'll take this
I think
offline
it's
and
good.
we'll figure out a topic. I'll get it posted and get it out to everybody. All right,
Okay,
guys. Thank you very
really
much.
good.
All right.
Okay,
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.